Hi, Dean Jenkins with FollowMeTrades.com, and this is the weekly market update for the week coming up of December 27th, 2015. So this will be the last update of this year. Next update will be in 2016. And I think we're going to have some more clarity then. Right now, uh, I declared last week, I think the bear market has begun. I gave some projections, some price levels that I think it's going to go down to over time. That won't happen right away. And I think for the rest of this year, which is really this upcoming week, which is a short week, we've got New Year's Day on Friday. I think it's just going to be back and forth, probably just a little bit chaotic. I'll be surprised if the market really establishes any clear direction. But again, I think we're in a bear market. I think it's begun. It's going to take some time to play out. I have drawn some trend lines on my chart. You can see these red trend lines. This one's bolder, so this is what I call, this is a major trend line. So this one's more important, and this is a minor trend line coming down here like this. I think this major trend line, I really doubt that it's going to be, that prices would actually go up above that. I really doubt that. And it'll be interesting to see if prices even approach this minor one. They could just work their way down from here. If they go through this minor one, it's not really a big deal. If they go through the major one, that might mean something. I think there's a very low probability of that. Again, I think this week coming up, what we're really going to see is just a little bit of chaos, right? And who knows what it'll do. But we'll stay tuned and find out. I do think, again, long term, we've got a bear trend going on here. And again, that may take several months or most of next year to play out. We just have this really clear pattern of lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. That's the definition of a trend. And if you think back to the 2008, 2009, market decline, that's how it started, exactly like that. And in fact, this minor decline, back in July and August, started that exact same way. If you remember, I was calling that out when it happened, and we had a really big decline there. I think this is going to eventually go down and take out this low here for sure. But it won't happen overnight. It won't happen instantly. But there's going to be some really good trades there, so I'll be continuing to provide updates. Let's take a look real quick at the S&P 500 right now. So this is the S&P 500. Same deal. We've got a major bearish trend line, a minor bearish trend line. I don't think this one will be taken out. This one might be. If it's not, that'll be pretty interesting if prices really respect that line. But I think the major one, there's a very low probability of prices going above that line. I think we're going to follow that. And again, just like the Dow, I'm bearish on the S&P 500. I think the bear market has begun. Last week I gave specific targets for that. So let's take a look real quick, just on a shorter time frame. I think this will be interesting and kind of highlight this point that I think next week's or this week coming up of the 27th is going to be really hard to predict. So this is the S&P 500 futures market. This is the E-mini on a 60-minute time frame. So I was showing you daily charts before where every price bar represented a full day. This chart, every bar represents 1 hour, 60 minutes. And just to show you, either one of these moves, like this move down here, could have been what we consider an impulsive wave, and it may have indicated more lows to come, but there's a problem with it. We like to see when there's an impulsive wave, according to Elliott wave theory, we like to see it retrace into this zone here, 61.8, 38.2 Fibonacci level, and then we like to see it take back down. If it does that, that's really predicting more lows, and it's highly accurate when it does that. But if you look, it didn't happen. It didn't happen, did it? It came down, and it retraced up way too high, way above the edge of this zone here. Didn't tell us anything. And then we had another, what's called an impulsive wave here. You see it retraced too high also, nearly 100%. So what we're left with is really what's called a complex correction or a channeling market. The market is staying between these two levels. It's channeling back and forth. And it's amazing to call this is an 80-point channel on the S&P 500 futures. It's hard to call that a channel, but it is. It is. It's just a really wide channel. And what that means is the market really has no direction in this short-term time frame. It's complex, and there's no big news driving it right now. and the market's indecisive. You can be sure the indecision does not last. It will break out of this. And again, my forecast is when it breaks out, it will be to the downside, and we'll get some new lows coming. But through this next week, this short week, this holiday week, fewer lower volume in the market, fewer traders, it could just keep doing this inside this channel, which is kind of frustrating if you're trading shorter time frames. It's hard to make profit in that channel. But we've got some longer term trades, and I feel really good about them. I'll just continue to provide updates. We'll watch and we'll see what happens. But let's take a look real quick at gold and oil, as I do every week right now. There's some interesting stuff happening there. So here's oil, and I'm staying on this 60-minute time frame. So again, every price bar here represents 1 hour, not 1 day. So it's a fairly short time frame. This is USO, the ETF for oil. Now, last week, midweek, I saw this pattern where it looked like oil, it basically had channeled here, and then it broke out of that channel, it pulled back. And I actually issued a trade to my subscribers, and we got in right here at 11:01, and we're sitting in some decent profit. Now, I think this is going to continue to go up, probably into this retracement zone up here. So I think we're going to get some nice profit on this. Now, does that mean that oil is turned around and on the longer term charts it's going up? Well, we don't know that yet. But on the short term, I think we're going to get a nice little long trade. We're in this, and I'm expecting to get some profit. So that's pretty fun on oil. And I'll continue to update and see if the longer term trend really has changed. No guarantee that the long term trend has changed on oil yet, but I think we have a short term play here, and we're in this, and so far getting some nice profit on it. Here's gold, and since we were on a 60-minute chart on the other instruments, I thought I'd stay on 60 minutes here for gold. And if you think this chart looks a little messy, a little gappy, it is. That's because gold trades 24 hours a day, but this ETF for gold only trades during the U.S. market hours. So if gold moves when the market's closed, when we open, there's a gap up or down. So gold's in this channel right now on this 60-minute chart. I guess I drew that wrong. Here, let's do it again. So the channel's really, the bottom's down here and the top's up here. Okay, gold needs to break out of this channel before it shows us anything interesting. And if it goes down, this trend has been going on for years, and it's bound to find a bottom soon. So I won't be going short on gold. But if it goes up and breaks out of this channel and does something like this, well, there may be an entry somewhere along here where we would go ahead and take a long trade on gold as well. And there'll be some real profit to be made. Gold's got a long way to go up if its uptrend does begin, both GLD, which is the ETF for gold, and gold mining stocks. So there might be some real interesting stuff happening there. So again, low volume week, holiday week, Friday the markets are closed. There's no news coming. There's only on Thursday is the unemployment report. Other than that, there's no major economic news planned for the whole week. So I think it'll be light volume. It may be a little volatile, but I don't think any real direction will be set. I think that'll happen after the first of the year, and I think it's bearish. So look for the next update. That might be more interesting. Again, hope you had a great holiday. Hope you enjoy your New Year celebrations. Be safe, and we will talk to you next year. I got to say that for the first time. Take care. Thanks. Bye.